Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into SAP Materials Management, or MM.
That's right. It's really the core system, making sure a business has the stuff it needs. Materials, stock.
Whether you're on the older ECC or the newer S/4HANA, right?
Exactly. The principles are similar. And our goal today is just to give a clearer view of the main processes.
Using both the classic T codes and those newer Fiori apps.
Yep. Trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
It could look a bit complex at first glance.
Okay, so where do we start? Getting things ordered, I guess. Purchase orders.
Good place to start. So if you know what material you need, you'd create a purchase order. The T code is ME21N.
And in Fiori.
That'd be the Managed Purchase Orders app. Does pretty much the same thing, just looks different.
Why is getting this PO right so important? Seems obvious, but...
Wait, it really is crucial. I mean, this is where you lock down who you're buying from, what you're buying, pulling from the material master record.
Ah, the central item list.
Exactly. How much, when you need it. Getting the PO accurate up front just saves so many problems later, smooths out the whole process.
And if you need to, like, change it or just look it up.
Easy. ME22N for changing, ME23N for displaying, or, again, it's all within that same Managed Purchase Orders Fiori app.
Okay, makes sense. But what if, say, someone inside the company realizes we need something before it's a formal PO, like an internal request?
Right. That's the purchase requisition. It's basically an internal heads up saying, we need this.
And how do you create that?
The T code is ME51N, or in Fiori, there's an app called Managed Purchase Requisition Professional.
And to see all those pending requests?
You'd use ME5A, which is a list display. The Fiori equivalent is the Monitor Purchase Requisition Items app. It gives you a good overview.
So, okay, the order's placed, then the supplier says, yep, we can ship it then. How do you track that?
You can manage those supplier confirmations, often done manually, actually. You can update them in ME22N, the change PO transaction, or there's a specific Fiori app. Manage supplier confirmations. Helps keep track of expected dates.
Right, useful. Now, the exciting part, the truck arrives, stock movements.
Yeah, bring it in. The key transaction here is the goods receipt, specifically against that purchase order we talked about.
My go, right. I hear that one a lot.
MyGo is the main one for goods movements, yes. Specifically, MyGo-GAR for the goods receipt, or the Fiori app post-goods receipt for purchasing document. That's when the system knows the stock has physically arrived.
What about moving stock within the company, like warehouse A to warehouse B?
Still often MyGo, but a different movement type. T-code MyGo TR for transfers, and Fiori has specific apps. Transfer stock in plant for movements within the same location.
And transfer stock cross-plant for moving between different sites.
You got it. And if you need to reserve stock for a future job or order, so no one else grabs it, that's creating a reservation. T-code MB21, or the Manage Manual Reservations Fiori app, kind of earmarks the stock.
This all sounds like it relies heavily on having good background information set up, master data.
Oh, absolutely. Master data is fundamental. Garbage in, garbage out,
So what are the key ones for MM?
Well, first, your suppliers. That's the business partner or BP transaction in S/4HANA. Used to be separate vendor codes like MK01 and ECC.
Fiori app for that too.
Yep, manage supplier master data. Then there's the purchasing info record, T-code ME11, or manage purchasing info records.
What's that for exactly?
Think of it like a specific deal for buying a certain material from a certain supplier. It stores pricing, lead time, stuff like that. Quick reference.
Okay. And the materials themselves?
The material master, hugely important. T-codes MN01 to create, MN02 to change, or the Manage Product Master Fiori app. Holds all the details about every single item, how it's bought, stored, planned, sold. Everything.
Right. So we've ordered things, received them, moved them around. How does SAP even figure out what we need to order in the first place?
That's where MRP comes in. Material Requirements Planning.
The planning engine.
Exactly. It looks at demand, like sales orders or forecasts and current stock, then figures out what materials are needed and when.
How do you run it?
For a single material, you can use MD02. Or in Fiori, there are apps like Schedule MRP runs for background jobs, or Manage Material Coverage for a more interactive view.
And what does MRP create?
It usually generates planned orders. These are like suggestions. You should probably order this, or you need to make this.
How do you see those suggestions?
T-code MD13 to display a planned order, or the Manage Planned Orders Fiori app. You can also create planned orders manually with MD11 or change them with MD12, all in that same Fiori app.
So they're just suggestions. How do they become real orders?
Good question. You convert them. T-code MD15 lets you convert planned orders into purchase requisitions, which procurement then turns into POs or into production orders if it's something you make internally. Fiori has convert planned orders or schedule order conversion runs.
Okay. And if I just want to see the planning situation for one specific material?
That's the MRP list. T-code MD05 gives you a snapshot from the last MRP run. Fiori side, you might look at managed production orders or process orders, or back at managed material coverage.
Got it. So goods are received. Eventually, the supplier wants paying. Invoice time.
Yep. That's usually handled by the accounts payable team, but the process starts in Logistics invoice verification. The T-code is MRO.
MRO, another classic.
It is. Or the Managed Supplier Invoices Fiori app. You enter the invoice details and usually reference the purchase order.
Makes sense. Links it all up. What about sending documents out, like printing the PO to send to the supplier?
That's managed through output determination or messages. You set up rules, like, for this type of PO, create a printout.
How's that done?
Setting up the rules uses T-codes like MN04 or the newer OPD transaction. Then to actually process and maybe print or email them, you'd use something like ME9F for purchase orders. The Managed Purchase Orders Fiori app often handles displaying or resending outputs too.
Okay, nearly there. With all this activity, POs, goods receipts, invoices, how do you get a handle on it all? Reporting.
Absolutely key. For tracking material movements, receipts, transfers, issues, and B51 is your friend. It lists material documents.
Fiori apps for that?
Sure, material documents overview or overview inventory management gives similar insights.
What about checking PO status? Are they delivered, invoiced?
Lots of reports for that. ME2L lists POs by supplier, ME2N by PO number, and so on. Fiori has things like monitor purchase order items, which are pretty powerful.
And just as simple, how much stock do I have right now?
The classic is MMBE Stock Overview, shows stock levels across different locations and types. Fiori offers stock multiple materials and stock single material for similar views.
Phew, okay. That covers a lot of ground. Just quickly, how does SAP structure this behind the scenes, organizationally?
Right. Well, SAP MM uses structures like purchase organizations. They're responsible for negotiating prices and buying. You set those up in configuration, SPRO under transaction OX08. Sometimes you have reference purchase orgs too.
And plants.
Plants are usually physical locations like a factory or a warehouse. They get linked to the purchase orgs and also to the company code for the financial side. It all ties together.
So pulling it all together, SAP MM is really about that structured flow of materials, isn't it? From the need to the purchase, getting it in stock, managing it.
That's a great summary. It provides the framework using these transactions or apps, both the older ones and the newer Fiori ones, to manage that whole life cycle.
And understanding these core bits really helps see how procurement and inventory kind of underpin everything else in the supply chain, like sales and production.
Definitely. It's foundational. Getting this part right is critical.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Which of these processes, these T-codes or apps, is the absolute linchpin in your specific setup? Something to ponder. Thanks for walking us through that.
My pleasure. It's a big topics, but hopefully that gives a clearer picture.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into SAP Materials Management, or MM.
That's right. It's really the core system, making sure a business has the stuff it needs. You know, materials, stock.
Whether you're on the older ECC or the newer S/4HANA, right?
Exactly. The principles are similar. And our goal today is just to give a clearer view of the main processes.
Using both the classic T-codes and those newer Fiori apps?
Yep. Trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
It could look a bit complex at first glance.
Okay, so where do we start? Getting things ordered, I guess. Purchase orders.
Good place to start. So if you know what material you need, you'd create a purchase order. The T code is ME21.